The former Immigration Minister Robert Jenrick has accused the Prime Minister of betrayal over plans to pay failed asylum seekers £3,000 of taxpayers' money to move to Rwanda voluntarily. These aren't the ones who are going to be deported. If that ever happens, could get planes off the ground in April. Could we? Or will we not? But actually offering to pay people £3,000 to go to not their country of origin, which already happens. 19,000 people had that last year, astonishingly, of our money, but to go to Rwanda to make a new life there. Joining me to discuss this is Alp Mehmet, Chairman of Migration Watch UK. Delighted to see you in the studio as well. Alp.
Lovely to be here.
I mean, when we saw this, we were discussing this on the show a lot yesterday. Just extraordinary that this is what they're going to resort to. This tells us, doesn't it not, that the government don't have any hope they're actually going to be able to deport people.
Well, it's all sort of treading water at the moment, really. I mean, it's a nonsense, frankly. It's more likely to attract people.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they come here if they know they're denied asylum? However, you can have £3,000 to go and live in Rwanda.
Pay the people smuggler £3,000 to get from Calais to Dover. And then you get, you'll be put up in a hotel or whatever. OK, it's not a great life, but it's probably better than a lot of the lives they've been living, certainly in France, where they're living in campsites. And then if it doesn't work out, if it works out, well played. If it doesn't work out, you get a failed asylum seeker stamp. Then we'll pay you £3,000 to basically start the journey again.
It just adds a little gloss to the package that the traffickers are selling. I'm just flabbergasted, frankly. That...
Are you anymore? I'm never flabbergasted by anything the government does anymore.
Yes, I am actually, because behind the scenes you talk and you agree things and they say we're going to do this and this is going to be the result. You say to them, no, it's not going to be the result, it's going to be this. But they seem to mean it. Then all of a sudden they come up with ridiculous schemes.
Even the deportation Rwanda plane scheme, even that,
It won't happen.
I think we should, whether it happens or not, even if it does happen, it's going to be a few hundred people at best.
Well, exactly.
You're going to take your odds, aren't you? If you're sitting in Calais, you've travelled all the way from Middle East or North Africa, and you've made it all as far to the west coast of France, you're going to take your chances.
Julia, it's only happening now, and this business of giving people money to go to Rwanda, it's a diversion, frankly. It's absolute nonsense, as the Rwanda scheme seems to have become. It's a diversion from the real problem, which is legal migration.
And this is something you've been talking about at Migration Watch UK for many, many years, illegal and legal migration. And I think most people were absolutely stunned when we discovered the huge numbers that have been coming to this country in the last couple of years. Migration Watch UK has a very good record of predicting the numbers, far better than the official bodies do.
Well, of course, because we've had a lot more experience than some of the people, both ministers and officials, frankly. And I dare I say, we've actually been more correct.
Oh, absolutely.
We've been nearer the truth from the government, from official bodies,
the advent
and other bodies.
of the Eastern European nations. We were supposed to, was it going to be 15,000 or 13,000, they said, and it ended up being in the many, many hundreds of thousands.
We said that was worthless.
How many people have come to this country in, say, the last 10, 20 years to make their lives here net?
Let me just put it all in a little paragraph, if I may, Julia. The fact is that over 20 years we had a 7 million increase in our population, the result of immigration. Yeah. If we continue at 600,000 net over the next 20 years...
Which is what it was last year.
Well, it was actually more than that, but if it comes down a bit to 600,000, then we're talking about 20 million people added to our population by the mid-2040s. And even if it came back to 350,000 net, we're still talking about 9 million people added to the population.
Where are they going to live?
Where are they going to live?
No, apparently no. Can I clarify? Can I clarify? I think you'll find they're all doctors and Nobel Prize-winning scientists in the making, if you check more closely.
Yeah.
That's what we're told.
And I am a doctor and engineer as well.
And you said the integration thing, that ties into the conversation we're having about extremism, people coming here and people getting, getting visas to live here, and then also very quickly going on a fast track to British citizenship.
That's right.
But haven't necessarily moved here, maybe to have a better life, but necessarily not to perhaps assimilate and integrate.
Well, it's impossible. How can you possibly integrate 20 million people? It just isn't going to happen. Well, the government has announced some policies, some measures now that are designed to reduce it all by 300,000 people. What they're really doing is, and they should have headed their announcement today with, we screwed up,
Yeah.
and we're now making an effort because there's an election looming.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen. We're not going to see the results of any of the new measures before
For
the
an
next
election.
election.
But also when we see even like the budget last week, when you look at the Office of Budget Responsibility and their projections on the number of people coming, we're still looking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands more people net in the country every year than we have currently.
Well, 6.1 million.
We will have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming in, Mehmet from Migration Watch at UK. Thank you.